Welcome to today's edition of Mental Health Matters. Today we're going to be talking about overcoming grief. I have Javon Weavers on the show today, and she's going to share her story regarding overcoming grief. Get you something to drink, get you a snack, and come on back. Good morning, Javon. How are you doing?
I'm doing lovely. I'm doing lovely. Beautiful day. I'm getting over a cold, but I'm doing well. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're looking good, so that
Thank you.
speaks
Thank
volumes
you.
too.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, Javon, I know you've been on the show before. Why don't we start by you just introducing yourself, where you're from, and just give a little bit background information about who Javon is.
Okay, absolutely. Well, as you know, my name is Javon Williams. I like to be called Miss Javon.
Okay.
I prefer Javon, that's fine. I grew up in San Francisco, California, just turned 50 years old. I'm a mother of three. For those that don't know, I went through a traumatic, um, traumatic, I don't even know the word for it, but a dramatic thing with my son, Lamont
Yeah.
Myers, who have passed away from a fentanyl poison. And I decided to open up a foundation called the Lamont Myers Foundation, where I go around, I talk about my story, I visit schools, whoever I can talk to and be of help. That's what I do. And I love outreach and just want to help someone.
Nice, nice. Javon, before you had your children, who was Javon and what was Javon like?
Oh wow, those was the good old days. I always been kind of quiet, always been kind of picky, about who I'm around, observant.
Yeah,
I got bullied a lot. I got bullied a lot. And, I knew when I was younger, I had to fight back. My cousins used to we used to always have to fight each other, I guess, for like whatever, something happened. So I wasn't no punk, excuse my
yeah,
language.
yeah.
I will throw down if I had to. I just love being outside. I love my friends. I used to love to party, who didn't when you're a teenager and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I just love to have fun and I love people and always love to help people. That's who I
Okay.
was. And I was the only child, so I knew that I wanted to have more than one child.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. I think you
Yeah.
did mention that before. That's interesting. So, how was it like growing up in San Francisco? Because when I think of San Francisco, I just think of expensive, the Bay Area,
Yeah.
you know, just the boat rides, and how was
Yeah.
you growing up in
Yeah.
San Francisco?
Wow, it was expensive back then,
Yeah.
but when you come from an area where you know certain people and you go to school with them and you start meeting other people, it's become like a family.
Yeah.
When I go back home, it doesn't even seem like home today.
Yeah.
It's just everything just seems so touristly
Yeah.
and different. It
Yeah.
don't feel like home,
Yeah.
When I turned 18, I was able to get my first project. What that is like low income housing.
Yeah.
So 18 and a half, I was staying by myself in
Okay.
this project of Army Street where they used to build the projects down and, have low income housing. So, I grew up in a low income housing type of era as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
mm,
was it like a lot of, was it like a tour city back then as well? Like a lot of you, okay,
definitely. Yeah, yeah. I went to Galileo High School. That's right there by Fisherman's Wharf.
okay,
And I remember we used to have to run to the wharf and you see all the tourists and
yeah,
things like that. It was always something to do. If you want to get out the hood, go to Fisherman's Wharf,
okay,
play
okay,
video games and stuff. Yeah.
okay. So Javon, what are you doing today to get through the day? Like what do you do? Well, I guess I'm gonna say, how do you spend your time today? What do you do?
Uh, Today, after this interview, I'm gonna go walk. I'm gonna take a
Okay,
walk.
okay,
Yeah, I'm trying to get my health back together and, my mind, because when you go through something traumatic, I need that fresh air,
yeah.
Yeah, so just trying to take care of myself mentally and physically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
funny because I'm a expose myself. So
Mhm.
Max texts me. Well, let me back. So I'm on the
Huh.
weekend. I'm a night owl. Just I don't have to really
Yeah.
work my 9 to 5. I just stay up late binge
Yeah.
watching shows. So I think I went to bed maybe about 1 or 2 this morning. I got up, was at the
Mhm.
gym at 7, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I've been trying to do my
Yeah.
little thing, working out. And
Yeah.
so I'm on a treadmill, and Max called me like at 8:03 or 8:02. He's like, you
Okay.
getting on? I was like, and so I looked at his text message. He said 8. I'm like, oh crap. I said, when I told the gas 9, I said, could you please, I said, could you please can we do it at 9? So I do apologize to Max and Jane. But I'm saying that to say I'm commending you on your workout
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
Walking or whatever you're doing, it's good to keep that exercise
Yeah.
because it does improve our mental health.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not easy now. I do tend to fall off, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like these pounds. And I was just telling my husband, I said, for Mother's Day, can you please get me a membership? I want to do the oh my gosh, I can't think of it. I can't do all that strenuous stuff. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like Pilates.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to do that and
Yeah.
just get back to it. I need it like mentally, really.
No, I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, this only my second day back, just to be honest with
Oh,
you.
okay.
So, I've
Yeah.
got the same mindset as you. I'm like, look, I need to kind of get some things done. And
Yeah.
believe it or not, it's actually helped me like
Yeah.
mentally, like already I'm
Hmm.
feeling better. I'm feeling more
Yep.
positive, and I'm just
Yep.
just makes me feeling better and stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see how
Do
long it goes.
Yeah, I know that's what me. See how long ago, but
Yeah.
yeah. And I lost a lot of weight, so I'm like, oh, and I'm eating bad. And I'm like, no, but now, I'm trying to like, because I'm so busy, I do a lot of outreach and then my paid job that I work. So I'm trying
Yeah.
to distinguish like, okay, you gotta have time for yourself. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to like put that in there, like, no, you gotta have time for yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm
Absolutely.
focused on that after I reflect back a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Javon, talk a little bit more about your loss.
Yeah. So, man, it's just an unimaginable thing.
Yeah.
Like I just remember, our really last time together, me he needed his car jumped. And I'm fussing at him like, all you gotta do is just get a battery. And at
Yeah.
that time my car was new and I'm fussing at him, you know, and I just remember like I was talking to somebody just yesterday. I remember like grabbing my phone, like trying to record him jump in the car because I was just so amazed. Like my baby is really a man, he's really
Yeah.
grown up. He know how to do this. He know how to do different stuff.
Yeah.
And I kept reaching for my phone and recording. I was like, no, I can't do that. I mean, like this is my last time,
Yeah.
and actually it was my last time.
Wow.
It's so horrible. Should nobody lose their child? We shouldn't, our
Yeah.
kids should be burying us, there is
Yeah.
circumstances where our kids are sick and we know they're going, but dang it, I just woke up one day and my child was gone from the face off this, and that's just something that just so unmanageable, Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm at work, I had a meeting, a face-to-face meeting, and I'm sitting in the conference room with everybody around us, and I just like got up out the conference room because I didn't want people to see me cry. One
Yeah.
minute you could be happy, the next minute you could be sad, just especially those birthdays, those holidays,
Yeah.
and not having any closure. I don't have no closure about, where this came from, like,
Yeah.
and when you go through something traumatic like this, it's like you know all the answers. And
Right.
your reality does it's not a reality. Whoever
Yeah.
did gave this to him, I don't hate you,
Yeah.
I just want to know like how you feel.
Yeah.
Write me like a Dear John letter, but that's not the reality. I
Right.
would probably never even have my closure. But
Yeah.
I have to, it hurts that I have to go on like this every day.
Yeah.
Like when I go take a walk,
Yeah.
sometimes, I have to trick my mind, like I'm walking to go see my baby,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna see him.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see him. And
Yeah.
that's the hurt part. It's just not knowing that you ever gonna see your child. And some people they don't get out of that.
Yeah.
They go really into like I don't know the word for it, but like some type of mental something where they don't get out of it. They end up dying from heartbreaks or
Mm-hmm.
just be really, just can't take it,
Yeah.
And I remember being like that. I remember like getting in my car and I didn't care how fast I was going. I didn't care. When you lose your child, it's like you want to be there with your child.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I'm not
Yeah.
suicidal or
Yeah.
nothing like that, but I wanted to be with my child and I didn't
Yeah.
care. And I don't know what it was, the prayer warriors, the people around me, where I came back to reality. Like, I hope I'm probably talking so loud, but I'm just so passionate,
Yeah.
But I,
No.
I
No,
came
this
back
good.
to, yeah, I came back to reality. Like, you got other kids here, you got family.
Yeah.
That's selfish, or, not really selfish, but, you just don't know. You have to know how to cope with this.
Yeah.
This is my forever. Like, this is forever. You have to know. One minute you gotta, whatever like I tell mothers, if it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
If you want to cry, go cry. You
Yeah.
want to go take you a shower. You want to have you some wine, okay, long as you being functional. It's okay to do whatever you want to do because this is forever. Long as you're not
Yeah.
hurting yourself or hurting somebody else,
Yeah.
do what you gotta do because it's forever. You gotta figure
Yeah.
out whatever makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man,
Mhm.
absolutely. Um, that was really good, by the way. Do you feel like were there any guilt as a parent? I know when my brother was got unaligned from
Yeah.
gang banging, my mother, she dealt with a lot of guilt. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of guilt.
Wait,
And
wait, you lost your brother?
yeah,
Mm.
I had a brother who was killed through
Oh,
gang violence.
oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. So you've
yeah,
seen the pain, agony that
yeah.
your mother went through.
Oh my God, a lot. And that was actually, my mother's a very strong-willed individual. She's one of them
Mm-hmm.
old school
Yeah.
women. And I could tell, like when it happened, you just saw something just
Mm-hmm.
break. There was
Yes.
a hole in her armor that was
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mentally, you just knew it. And she tried to keep up this
Mm-hmm.
image, but
Yeah.
her demeanor, her
Mm-hmm.
emotions, her pain exposed her. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I felt bad for her. Like, of course,
Yeah.
that's my brother, and we were all going through our
Yes.
own stuff. But my mom was always like, a strong woman, and to see her
Mm-hmm.
deal with that, it was just
Yeah.
like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
and even to this day, my brother's birthday is this month, April the 9th. Every year they
Um,
celebrate him. They always,
yeah.
get together, cook food, and
Good. Yeah.
but it was very,
Mm-hmm.
very painful. Even today, I know my mom,
Yeah.
she goes through that. She think about
Yeah.
she got
Mm-hmm.
pictures and stuff on a
Yep.
wall, It's
Hmm.
just a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like just yesterday, I can really tell when I'm in my depression mode because I don't, I don't clean out my car. I'm like a clean freak, especially when it comes to my car. Stuff would be laying around, and I'm like, oh, and then I went to go get a car wash. And I was like, I was just not feeling good. I've been sick almost 2 weeks. And then I was like, let me go get this smartwatch. So I'm in there and I was like, I'm just gonna buy this. This is
Yeah,
an L,
yeah,
an L and a ladybug. These are
mm,
type of things that we do to keep our kids around us,
yes, exactly.
pictures in the
Yeah,
car, is you just, like, people say like it gets easier. Um, I don't know. I mean, I kind of understand what they mean, but it doesn't for me because it's like it comes and it goes.
yeah,
I wish nobody would have to go through this. I wish I don't have to go through this.
yeah,
It's like you're sick when you don't want to be sick. You don't know
mm,
when it's gonna come on. Who
right.
wants to cry out the blue? Who wants
Yeah,
to be having a good time and then you freaking crying?
yeah,
Or you sad?
yeah,
When you're a happy person, who wants to be sad?
yeah,
When you're not, it just come on all of a sudden.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, and you think about your child all the time, every day.
yeah,
I wonder, like, what is he? Do they eat?
yeah,
I know there's signs that he shows me that he's around, but I
yeah,
don't want to be thinking like I'm crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Tricking my mind like, no,
yeah,
like this react, you go through all types. You got to put
mm,
on all different hats.
yeah,
Who wants
yeah,
to do that all the time?
yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta learn how to cope with this.
yeah,
That's too much. I
yeah,
already gotta work.
yeah,
There's other stuff going on. I got my kids, my mama, my family, my husband,
yeah,
other stuff outside that I gotta deal with. And then I
yeah,
gotta deal with this. This
yeah,
is a lot.
yeah,
You gotta be strong. You gotta know how to make it. But
yeah,
this is something like you gotta trick your mind with.
yeah,
Every day it's the worst mother pain. And we think about our kids every day, the birthdays, the holidays, even not even on the birthdays and holidays, just every day of our life.
yeah, yeah,
And we don't want our kids to see that we're crying and we're sad. We try
yeah,
to be like, yeah, because we don't want them feeling it, but they feeling it. The siblings feeling it even worse.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly
It's
right.
a lot. This. I think this is an illness.
Yeah, wow.
This is an illness.
Yeah,
That cannot be cured.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't care how many counselors I went to. When it happened, I did the counseling thing. I didn't really feel like she was a match. I did a healing group. That went okay. Shout out to Mama Clark. That went okay. But you learn some stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just there.
yeah,
Your heart is broken into pieces.
yeah. Javon, on the days that you are doing okay, or you may be happy or may have some joy,
Hmm.
do you feel well, what does that look like for you? That's my first question. Like on the days that you may be doing okay, you may have some joy, some fun, and what does that look like for you, even though you're in the agreement process?
When my cousin come around, she comes around check on me.
Okay.
And we just have a good time. We go eat,
Yeah.
we just laugh. We always joking around, saying smart stuff, slick stuff
Uh,
to each other, just laughing.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy,
Yeah.
or sometimes like some my friends I would go out with, they might invite me to something. I really don't like to go out a lot, I like to be like around people that I know and not out with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
But that type of stuff, or just seeing somebody else happy, that makes me happy. And just, all I want to do is work, outreach, outreach, outreach.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Those what those look like. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you wish you had known in the early moments of grief that you can see a bit clearer now?
What I wish I would have known. That's a
Like in the
good
beginning
question.
stage. In the beginning stage.
Yeah. Um, you know what? I don't know how to answer that. Only because like I had so much support there. You know what I mean? People were giving me books. I was reading books, and I like to read and I like language, you know. I don't know. I just know that, you just gotta trick your mind, you know. I knew I had to be healthy.
Yeah.
I just knew all those things that
Yeah.
I didn't want to be going crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be sad all the time. I didn't
Yeah.
want to be wearing his coat. I
Yeah.
just knew that I had to be strong in
Yeah.
some way, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. But for somebody else, I would probably say, take your time. I had to
Yeah.
learn how to do that. Maybe that's what I can say. I had to learn how to not rush it,
Yeah.
not trying to rush my grief. You
Yeah.
cannot rush it.
Yeah.
I see people do that all the time. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Who's ever out there listening, don't do that. Take your time
Yeah.
because it's gonna be there. You
Yeah.
can't rush it, you know. I didn't know that part, but just I was around a whole bunch of love. I don't know what I can't even explain. Like I feel like I haven't overcome that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was something over it was something protecting me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those tears never gonna stop, coming down my eyes and puffy eyes and things like that. I still have nights where I don't sleep,
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
sleep good most times, I don't want to take any medication because I don't want to get hooked,
Right. Right.
but I just know that you can't rush it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the way you said that too, because there are, when people lose a loved one, they grieve in different ways. And,
Hmm.
sometimes people put this expectation on you and feel you should grieve a certain way,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
and, you don't rush it,
Yeah.
just let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
There are going
Hmm.
to be ups, there are going to be downs, you
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
just let it be organic, like you said. Don't rush it.
Yeah. You
That's
gotta
very
figure out.
important.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
gotta figure out what works for you.
Yeah,
Like I say, go take me a walk. And when I'm walking, because I'm working out and I
yeah,
know I'm going slow, I'm like, I'm going to get my mind. No,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not going to get my mind. You
yeah,
know, but
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
you whatever you can do if
yeah,
you want to paint, go
yeah,
paint,
yes,
whatever. Take a hot bath.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
And I
Ma-
like that you use that with your walk, because it's, you're dealing with your grief, but you're also dealing with it in a healthy way to your
Yeah.
physical benefit.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
motivating you, and so honestly, I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I'm learning, I'm learning different things, I want to read more too, you
Yeah,
know. I be so busy, but
yeah,
that's the next thing. But yeah, just taking care of me physically because I see like I say, I almost died.
yeah,
I have to take medicine for my heart today,
yeah,
and I see a lot of mothers when I'm talking to them, they crying and I get it, but you
yeah.
know, yeah.
Javon, what surprised you the most about grief?
What surprised me the most about
Yeah,
grief?
yeah,
Um, I just didn't know it was gonna be this hard,
mm-hmm,
because it comes and go. And when you feel like you can handle anything, you're not ready for that because it
yeah,
just come out the blue.
yeah, yeah.
If that kind of makes sense, what I'm saying. I hope I'm describing that right.
That 100%
Yeah.
makes sense because, so growing up, my siblings, we always see people who may lose another sibling,
Hmm.
and, you be there for them and you kind of, do what you need to do to, have to get through. But
Yeah.
it's different when it happens in your home.
Yeah.
you know.
It's different. Hmm.
Yeah. And so when my brother was unalive through game banging, I thought about all those people who my family had, been a support system for through their grieving process.
Yeah.
But it was
Hmm.
different because it wasn't over here on this side,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
And surprisingly, it was like, oh, wow,
Hmm.
okay, this is something that, we got to deal with. We got to,
Hmm.
okay, as a family, mom
Yeah.
and dad and whatever, like,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
honestly, that was what I was hoping you said, because that's what happened to
Yeah.
me. It was
Hmm.
surprised how hard it was.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then another thing, in addition to that, you know, um, like when it's all said and done, nobody's gonna be there.
yeah,
My best friend from San Francisco, we've been like best friends over 30 years. I don't see her that often, but she made a point to come visit me, and she went through that, but she lost her baby. Her baby was a baby. My baby was 19 years old. Her baby was
yeah,
like, and she told me, she said, I know you're going through it, but just know that at the end of the day, everybody gonna be gone. It's just gonna be you. And I didn't really understood what she meant, but I
yeah,
seen it. I
um,
seen it. And that's another thing, like, some people, when you go through this, you gotta know that other people got lives,
yeah,
you know? So you can't expect for people to always be there for you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta figure out how to
yeah,
pick yourself up.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. Um, in what ways has this been harder than you thought it was going to be? Like your friend lost a baby at that time, and that wasn't really your experience, even though that was your best friend,
Hmm.
and you saw her
Hmm.
go through. But in what ways has this been harder than what you thought?
Yeah. Man, it's hard, like especially when my other kids, you
Yes.
know, I don't think they know how to deal with it. I'm learning how to deal with it,
Yeah.
and not being able to have them not being able to open up for me. That hurts because I don't know how to get to you.
Yeah. Right.
I try to talk to you about it. Like my youngest, I got him seeing therapy right now, and I'm hoping it's early on, so I'm hoping that would work. He would get some techniques,
Yeah.
but just not being able to get to him on certain things,
Yeah. Yes.
and I
Absolutely.
don't want to lose another son,
Right.
another child.
Yeah.
And that's another
Yeah.
worry, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
My brother that was unalive through game banging. Uh I have another brother that is 1 year younger than him. They were the closest. When I say close, they were everybody used to think they was twins, but they wasn't. I mean, they was extremely close. And when
Yeah.
my brother got unalive, and it's funny we talked about this because my sister and I actually talked about this last week.
Hmm.
It affected my brother. That was close to the brother that was unalive. It
Yeah.
affected him in a very major way
Hmm.
mentally.
Yeah.
My
Hmm.
brother, he just pretty much gave up on life. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, he
Yeah.
gave up on life.
Yeah.
He started
Hmm.
pretty much he became an alcoholic. There
Yep.
was no
Yep.
motivation, no drive. And
Nothing. Hmm.
I don't know. It's like I didn't, for me, I dealt with it in a different way,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but it
Hmm.
really like even to this day, literally to
Hmm.
this day, my brother is still dealing with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like he don't know how to get himself out. Like it,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
he has a
Hmm.
daughter, uh,
Hmm.
and I feel looking back at what happened, he couldn't properly be there for his daughter because
Yeah.
of the trauma, the grief,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
when my sister was telling me that the other day, we were talking about, I was like, man, like I didn't, I don't know. I guess I knew what was going on, but I didn't know to what extent
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
affected his life like that.
Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping that don't,
Yeah.
happen because, sometimes it unfortunately they have to want to do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they don't know how,
Yeah.
especially if they already like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I'm just going to say if they're hard headed, they're not listening and have
Mhm.
all the answers. But sometimes you have to listen to somebody else.
Yes.
But then that can be the mental part too, where you're numb,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
100%. Has there been a part in the grieving process that's been kind of easy a little bit or not as hard on certain days?
Yeah, I mean, you have your good and your bad days. You have your good days. If I'm going shopping,
I know that's right.
you I got paid going shopping,
I know
something like
that's right.
that. But
Yeah.
it's temporary.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
temporary. It's never is it's temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all temporary, and you're back to square one.
Yeah.
You know.
So what about Javon when you're doing the work in the foundation, when you're passing out those kits, when you're going and doing like your speeches and your outreach
hmm
and stuff, does
hmm
that bring you like joy, comfort? Like what do you feel in the moment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That is my pride and joy right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like I say, I always, want to help people, and I feel like this is my purpose.
Yeah.
I reflect back to so much stuff, and I believe in the higher power. I'm not gonna go there because, different things, but I feel like this is my purpose,
Yeah.
and I feel like God put this for this. This is written.
Yeah.
If I must say, this is written,
Yeah.
and I mean it's just and how I feel because the most beautiful things happen to me out the blue,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's rapidly. Some things are going slower than what was. But this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we all have a purpose. We just
That's
got to
right.
know what our purpose is,
Yeah.
you know. Because I was very shy, didn't want to speak, or nothing like that. And all of a sudden, look what God got me doing. I
Yeah.
go somewhere, people I don't know, they be like, I know, I've seen you before. You look familiar. I don't tell
Yeah.
people, it's no big, this is what do it from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
God puts something on you, you gonna do it.
Yeah.
And like I had a dream a long time ago, a year before this was gonna happen. It's just little things that I was shown.
Yeah.
I'm not a prophet,
Yeah.
but it's little things that just be happening to me.
Yeah.
So we all have a purpose, and
Yeah.
this is what's in the book. This is what God want me to do.
In pain come purpose. It reminds me of the story of Jesus Christ, actually. Part
Mhm.
of his purpose was to die for the sin of man. So
Yeah.
those were able to be redeemed, you know,
Yes. Yes.
after his death.
hmm
When he was in the
Yeah.
Garden of Gethsemane, he was like, Father, let this cup pass from me. He didn't, I mean, at that
hmm
moment, that was a weak moment because he was human.
hmm
But
Yeah.
then he, gained the strength to, go on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
hmm
think whenever we do go through hardship, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to death and something
Yes.
extreme,
hmm
there will be for those that
Yeah.
will embrace it, there will be
hmm
purpose because
Yes.
your foundation wouldn't even be
hmm
here without,
Yeah.
you know,
Without this happening. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And networking with other moms, like I still gotta know his word. I
yeah,
still gotta know his word.
yeah,
And I'm really ordained to saving lives. I'm
Yeah.
saying a different way, but I'm
Yeah.
really passionate about this. If it meant me my own life, I hate to say that's what it is, to save
Yeah.
somebody else's.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Is I speak differently, I look at things differently. I'll be in my car, I'll be like, God, I don't know what just
Yeah.
over there. I speak differently, I'd be like, God, what I don't talk to him just because I need him. I talk to him all the time.
Yeah. Yes.
you
Absolutely.
know, and I cautioned him. They say
Yeah.
you ain't. I cautioned him.
Yeah.
Say, God, what you got me doing? But why? God, show me.
Yeah.
Whatever. You
Yeah.
know.
So
hmm
your relationship with God also helped you deal with your grief as well as what I'm
Yes. Well,
hearing.
my. hmm
That's awesome.
And it's just like something like tell you little things like I know I the whole 2024 that's all I did was work 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 work, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, with me coming off with this cold or whatever, it's
Yeah.
like you gotta rest. Little things tell you you gotta rest. So
Yeah.
some things I'd be like, can't do that. You just I gotta take care of myself. So that's what I'm noticing I gotta do, take time for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it'll show you or a sign or something. I don't know. It might
Yeah.
be somebody talking or somebody influencing you
Yeah.
and you pick it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Javon, what was the most meaningful thing did to you during the beginning stage of your agreement process that meant like a lot to you?
Mm. What was real meaningful is Devontae Clark. I had met him, through somebody else. And next thing I know, he was like, I'm gonna have a fentanyl awareness for you. I was
Hmm.
like, okay, just out the blue, and then the next thing I know, he was like, I want you to go talk to this person over here, that person, the news people. I
Wow.
really do what? Like he just out there,
Yeah. Wow.
you know? And then, it was that and just the community. The
Yeah.
community,
Wow.
community. Yeah.
Mm. How
hmm
long, Javon, did it take after your son passed for you to start going out in the community and raise awareness?
After he passed,
Yeah, how long did it
like
take
said,
you?
well,
Yeah.
okay, I'll say, well, a year and a half or two,
Okay. Wow.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I
Yeah.
was just like, and then I had a conversation with someone and she was like, you should do a foundation. And I'm like, nah, but then something pushes you, like it just kept being on you. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. And then I tried it one step and I'm like, okay, it
Yeah.
just feels different. Just like when you drive a car, you're like, I'm gonna get in that car, I'm gonna drive,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
hmm
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
hmm
now when you talk to especially the moms out there, like when
Yeah.
you or have you spoken to a mom that you were able to um provide some type of support or
hmm
um, meaningful
Yeah.
words to them that, shared the same experience
Yeah.
with your son?
I'll say about 6 weeks ago,
Wow.
I had got a call. Unfortunately, it turned out to a bad situation. Her son was 18 years old here in Sacramento, local Sacramento, and they suspect it was fentanyl. I'm sure she probably just now getting the coroner's report back,
Yeah.
but her son was found deceased in his car, and and I just remember telling the young lady before we knew all this, keep him up, call whatever, just trying to
Yeah.
walk her through the steps. But he
Yeah.
passed. It didn't come out good for the family. So
Yeah.
I stayed with that family 4 hours. I gave the mother her space.
Yeah.
Whatever I could do, I went out and I bought her like groceries, 2 days of
Yeah.
groceries, for her kids. Um, I haven't talked to her because I'm still giving her space because
Yeah.
I know how that is, but I did see the family 2 weeks ago, I had went to go speak to some boys with another organization,
Yeah.
and the family, the sister, the auntie seem like they're doing good. I asked about mom, they like, but yeah, I was able to do that. Also, I don't just like deal with Phenomenal families, I deal with moms that lost their kids through gang violence,
Mhm.
because we
Yeah,
all got to be there for each other.
that's right.
I'm there with some of these are like we call sisters,
Yeah,
I'm on the opposite side and they lost their baby, through gang violence. One of the
yeah,
mothers, she lost her 3-year-old daughter.
yeah,
Somebody was looking for the boyfriend and shot her daughter,
yeah.
you know,
Um,
like, I'm with a lot of those moms too,
yeah, yeah,
anybody, a car accident or whatever, because that's the most traumatizing thing is just to lose your kid,
yeah, yeah,
And I hate that, recently I get little things like, like one lady, I hope I'm not going away from the conversation,
no,
but one
no,
lady,
go, go.
she lost her mother and she's telling me that, first she asked me, this was like one of my kind of like my family members a little bit.
Yeah,
She asked me like, do you think it's a difference between losing a parent than losing a child? And I told her, because I see that we're going back and forth with this. She
yeah,
hear this, she gonna be like, "What?" I don't care,
yeah,
But for me, it's like it is a difference just a little bit because like I take care of my mom.
yeah,
If my mom passed today or tomorrow, or my dad, be okay with that. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because I was there with them and
yeah,
I cook for my mom, I clean, I talk to my dad every day. But my son, I woke up, the face of this earth, my son was gone. I didn't
yeah,
know he was leaving.
yeah,
So it's kind of a difference for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
but everybody grieving is different. And I try
That's
to
right.
tell her that, but she brings it up like, we around other people, and it's like your grief is your grief.
Right.
Can't, can't say that this is different, but I can say from my
Yeah,
child is, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You said you almost lost your child, but I lost my child, you
exactly.
know? So, people got to stop trying to like put, this is different. This is,
Yeah.
everybody pain is different.
That's right. That's
Mhm,
100% correct. That's 1,000,000% correct.
mhm,
You talked about, giving the mom that you helped with the
mhm,
family, you talked about giving her a little bit of space. It's
mhm,
interesting you said that because I know someone who had lost their husband a while back.
mhm,
This person
mhm,
was actually a caretaker to her husband and things like that. And
mhm.
she shared the story about how she got burned out to where she
Yeah.
called different people in for support, like to kind of
Mhm.
help take care of
Yeah.
her husband.
Mhm.
And she said when her husband finally passed away, it was a overwhelming response of
Yeah.
support and love. But she said that she just wanted to be alone.
Yeah.
She said
Yeah.
that was her way of dealing with her grief. She said,
Mhm. Yeah.
I needed to be alone to be able to
Yeah.
process what happened because she said, I had been married to this man, well, like 40 some years.
Yeah.
And, now my world it has changed. And
Yeah.
she said, I need to be alone to figure this out. And she said,
Yeah.
even though she was really grateful to the people
Yeah.
for giving her love and
Yeah.
support, but she said that she needed that was her way of grieving. So I thought it
Yeah.
was interesting that you said to give that mom space because some
Mhm.
people they
Yeah.
grieve different. Some people need all that support they want it,
Yeah.
and then other people
Yeah.
like, look, let me figure this out. Thank you, but
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. And you do have people like that. I would say for that particular, when people like that, give them their space and, just check up on, 'em. Even if you just drive by their house, write them a letter or drop them off a $5 Starbucks card. They
yeah,
gonna appreciate that,
yeah,
and just say thinking of you, you know, and, you
absolutely,
know, and maybe they'll open up too, but some people just, because, everybody's different, but we don't want them to shut down
right, exactly,
and just
exactly,
and handle all that because at the end of the day, you need somebody, but
yeah.
when you first go through it, you probably need somebody there just a little
Yeah.
bit. Just check in on them, because some people really don't want to be bothered. They think they can handle it or they can't handle it, but
Yeah.
it's lonely,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
I have a friend who lost her mom. I think I've ever
Mm,
shared this not too long ago, maybe a year, but it's probably coming up on a year this year. And when I
mhm.
found out about it, um, I reached out to her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because I know this individual personality, she is
Mhm.
a loner. She's more
Mhm. Yeah.
private. She's like a recluse.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her and
Yeah.
I called her or whatever, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need to uh
Yeah.
be too involved
Yeah.
because her
Yeah.
personality, and
Yeah.
she would have shut it down anyway.
Yeah.
Because I thought another
Yeah.
friend was like, yeah, she kind of, which I knew that, but then I
Yeah.
started feeling guilty because I'm like, man, well, at
I don't
least
want her to think. Yeah.
right, right.
I don't care. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
They're probably like, well, I'd rather her had shut me down than
Yeah.
me just assume it. But my other friend was like, well, yeah, she kind of did that to me, so you was right. But
Yeah.
at least you made the effort and I did. I think I
Yes.
was trying to
Hmm.
respect her
Yeah.
privacy. So
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's just like I said, we're
Send
just
her,
different.
mail her a card or something. Say, thinking of you, hon.
Yeah,
She'll appreciate that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
sometimes, we gotta get our emotions intact and, everybody's different, but it's lonely.
yeah, yeah,
I'm serious. It's lonely. Like, I don't care how strong you is, how much, you want to be to yourself,
yeah,
and a lot of times be too that we don't want to bother other people. Like I said, we know that we got to be strong. We know that we have this is something we got to do,
yeah, yeah,
but can't nobody tell me that. Well, I don't know, but as much as I would shut you down, I would appreciate like, okay, I
yeah,
got that would make me feel better. Like,
yeah,
oh, like somebody really cared about me. That would make me
right.
feel,
Yeah,
you can just check in like that. You
yeah,
know, if you so that way you did it. You
yeah,
you did what you had to do. Even if she don't respond back, eventually it's like, okay, but girl, I understand, but I'm thinking of you. I love you.
yeah, yeah,
I'm here for you.
yeah.
Hmm.
Javon, um what do you wish somebody would have said to you during that time getting stay? What do you wish somebody would have actually said? Because you had a lot of support, but what was
Yeah.
not said you wish somebody would have said that you think would have been really meaningful to you?
Whew. This is how I play it back to my reality. It's not reality. I just
Yeah.
wish that person would have wrote me a letter and say, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I really want to know how this person feel deeply,
Yeah.
to this day, excuse me.
Yeah, you're fine.
But like I done got all the support from everybody else. I don't have the closure.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it was done purposely,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that would mean a lot to me just to know how you feel. Do you even care?
Yeah. Mhm.
What happened? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you gave him the pill. Was it for his birthday or did he buy the pill?
Yeah.
How did you feel? Tell me what happened that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got everything else.
Yeah.
I feel like I got everything else except for you.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry you're going through this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I want.
Yeah.
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 But I have to be okay though, because
Yeah.
I'll probably never get that.
Talking with you about since we've been talking about just ongoing, about your son, even in last interview, even on the phone and stuff, you
Yeah.
appear to be a very loving and forgiving person. You
Thank
do.
you.
And I
Thank you.
really believe if this person came forth, I do believe that you will handle this in a
Yeah.
way where you feel like, okay,
Yes.
I just need closure. Just tell what happened.
Yes.
Just like you just said, it
Yes.
wasn't on purpose.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. I
and
don't believe it was on purpose. Yeah.
I really hope you get that. I really do.
I hope so too. I don't have so many conversations, with upper people and it's like, okay, I mean, I know I can really find out if I really want to who it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
but what good is that gonna do me?
Yeah.
You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
I gotta, I gotta live. I gotta take care of my step grandkids and,
Yeah.
get my household together, get me together. But
And
that's all I really want.
yeah.
I don't
And
need
you,
nothing else. No.
yeah. And you kind of know, um, people talk, but people know. And why do you
Hmm.
think people are like not coming forth? Why do you think that is?
Yeah. I think, number one, they're scared.
Yeah.
They're scared,
Yeah.
scared, and I don't pressure anybody or anything like that. But, I think now that even if they would come forward, nothing would happen
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's so old.
Yeah.
It was so many, so a lot of people dropped the ball.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't investigated properly.
Yeah.
Just things like that. And during that time, people didn't know they didn't know what to do. We had the COVID and, some of the workers probably overworked. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know really what time his death was.
Yeah.
When they picked him up from here, they threw him right in the refrigerator. You
Wow.
know, we don't, it was so many balls that was dropped,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so many balls that was dropped.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next for you in your next stage of grieving? Well, what do you think is next for you?
Um, well, I do have a Lamont's house open. I'm hoping to, I've been getting calls, for it's like a room and board. Been getting called for that, but we don't want anybody in there right now.
Hmm.
So, but I do want to help the homeless population eventually. Hopefully, I can
Hmm.
get some funding where I can get to that point.
Yeah.
I have a Mother's Day brunch coming up this is gonna be my second annually. Last year I did it by myself. This year, no funding, so I collaborated with someone else.
Yeah.
And right now I'm ordering stuff for moms, to make them feel good that day.
Yeah.
And it's for all the moms. You lost your kid, no matter how you lost your kid, we want to honor you that day from one mother to another mother.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
I'm planning a 5K um out here in Rancho Cordova. Once I get everything together, I want you to come, invite you to come on out.
Oh, I
you know,
will. I will.
um, a lot more outreach.
Mhm.
Thank you to City of Rancho Cordova. They helped me out, with a donation. Department of Public Health, and my other peers, with other nonprofits,
Yeah.
organizations, and some of the moms and Cal Voices as well. I love you and thank you guys all, and just want to collaborate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out to San Francisco and, pass out some kids and some homeless things for them. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a lot of collaborating with whoever and, help making a difference. We got to say these kids and for everybody, even the users, they know, but sometimes when you like I say, I've been around drugs my whole life,
Yeah.
you know, and they know right from wrong. But sometimes when you go through something, you don't care. Just like I didn't care about myself when my kid died, to be with my kid. So
Yeah.
sometimes we gotta help people. We can't be cruel. We can't, people are so cruel, and this world is going like crazy. So we gotta take care of our community.
Yeah. Talk a little bit more about the Mother's Day brunch. Where is that going to be held at?
It's going to be held, Arden, I'll send you the information. It's going to be
Okay.
held at a church in Arden, May 4th. We're going to give out prizes. We're going to have some guest speakers. We're going to cook, just things like that. Yeah, I think when I talked to Miss Vicky, I think we got like maybe about 20 people so far, and some of their families going to be there. So yeah, it's gonna be an early Mother's Day brunch. She lost her son through gang violence, you
Okay.
know. So, we just, I believe she has a healing group, just wanna do what's right, help
Mm.
mothers, because not every mother know how to survive. You gotta figure it out, especially, they left to figure it out.
Yeah.
There's resources for healing circles and counseling, but for me, and I don't want to steer nobody wrong, it's temporary for me.
Yeah.
If you can, you need somebody, even if it's just to come on out,
Yeah.
and take care of yourself or have a few laughs,
Yeah. Exactly.
get you out of that darkness.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot, but what I can do, try to get you out that darkness.
Yeah.
Because it ain't nothing nice being in the dark.
Yes, exactly. Well, Javon, we've run out of time, and this
Yeah.
was, of course, an amazing show. I really thank you for really opening it up and sharing your
Yes.
experience about grief, sharing your experience with the Lamont Myers
Mhm.
Foundation, and also just really providing some sort of comfort to those people
Yes.
who's going to watch this, because you shared a lot, and I think this information is going to be
Thank
very
you.
helpful to people. So thank you so much for
Yes.
taking the
You're
time.
welcome.
All
Anytime. Anytime.
right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
And that's it for this edition of Mental Health Matters. If you enjoyed this particular show, if you would like to be a guest on our show, or if you would like a DVD copy of our show, please dial 916-366-4600. Thank you.